What's going on, Cryptoverse? You see quite a bit of volatility in the market today. BTC looks like it is breaking down from what appears to be somewhat of a bear flag. More importantly, I wanted to touch up on altcoins, right? Like, when can we expect this altcoin rally to happen and altcoins to start making these moves? So in front of me, I got propped up BTC.D, so Bitcoin dominance, along with XBTUSD over it. And one thing that's really been happening during these BTC surges is alts are losing value. They're kind of selling off into BTC, and it's giving BTC that boost, right? So we've had this BTC value increase by altcoins stopping out, selling off, and really just going back into Bitcoin, which has been a catalyst for pretty much boosting this this rally. In just a moment. All right. So we've capped off. Dominance is capped off. It's hit this high 3 times. And while it's doing so, BTC actually made 2 different sets of gains. And it's kind of trying to, you guys know I like correlations. If you're a VIP or if you've been following a lot of our articles and things that we publish, we like to try to hunt down these correlations. So last time, dominance went from that 62% all the way up to 65. BTC had a 26% boost. This time around, it had a 22% boost. So that tells me that we're starting to lose steam in terms of BTC gains, whether it's coming from alt or USD, because we had the same percent dominance up move for a higher BTC USD dollar value gain, and now we're seeing the same thing, the same percent dominance increase, right, with a lower BTC USD dollar value increase, which kind of tells me that we're starting to lose steam on this BTC dominance feeding into BTC, unless alts start just losing value again on a downwards BTC. What's more interesting is propping this up, this dominance chart, and going like the daily chart. We can see that dominance, this is pretty much as high as it's gotten since November 2017, right? I think we got quite a bit higher, just a little bit to 69.68. Hi, Delilah. So we got quite a bit higher, just a little ways higher at 69.68 at one point. But then it's been maintaining this channel, right? And I'd like for it to do so we can get some more profitable alt trades, or actually profitable alt trades. On the way down, alts are pretty good, right? So when dominance hits the high, it's a good time to buy in. I put out quite a few signals on the way down, maybe like 6 or 7 signals. I want to signal VET right now, VeChain, for the VIPs. I'll do it right after the stream's done. So on the way down, this has been really good. But when you see these turns, when dominance starts to turn and head back up, we're seeing these massive altcoin sell-offs, which essentially it's alts feeding back into BTC, or it's getting stopped out back into BTC. What's more interesting now, I think there's an alt rally taking place. So if you look at Walton Chain, it's one of the signals that that I had put out, and on the bot we got stopped out, right? But then anybody trading it manually would still be in this trade. I signaled it right here, and it went up, it hit T1, came back down. I ended up buying this breakout and then selling out up here. But so we're seeing some of these alts really start shaping up in a breakouts, essentially, or attempted breakouts. This was a good 65% move off the bottom. Something that looks fairly similar to that is nulls, right? I think it's just lagging behind. So we're seeing this somewhat of a ascending triangle, is triangle formation. Now we want to see continuation and an up move to 1.618, right? At least above. I mean, Walton Chain's actually doing a little bit of a, I think it looks like a bull flag at the moment. Let me go back to that chart. Could we do another bull flag for another extended extenuation of the rally? back to the basics. Bitcoin, Ether. What can we expect out of BTC? So we put out a market update yesterday. Kind of wanted to touch up on that. Some of the guys in VIP were talking about potentially longing down here, and I said this looks like a bear flag and a revisit and a retest. And I kind of wanted a long Ether, but I decided not to because of what's going on with the BTC chart, right? So we saw this somewhat of a rising wedge, and it broke down and posted to the VIP. Said, hey, if we break down to this range, we're going to get real choppy. I'm not saying this Bitcoin, bull run is over, but if you look at coins that typically hedge well, like BNB, BTC, Mana starting to hedge, BNB, BTC, wrong chart. All right, so we're seeing this this wedge almost in a flag. We actually signaled this altcoin yesterday for the VIPs. Anyway, so we're seeing this wedge break out now. And I was actually drafting up a BNB BTC correlation, a point for an up move in BNB, down move in BTC. So I think we got to revisit some of these previous lows, that 10,000 mark and that 96 mark. I think that's in the books. I really am starting to believe so. It's the bull market's not over. I think it's just a correction, a consolidation period. Also, if you guys follow my my Medium posts, I mean, this could be a inverse head and shoulders right here, right? If we get a retest back up, sorry, not inverse, but a regular head and shoulders. So if we get this one's like almost clean cut, right? If we get a retest to this range, I'm probably gonna want to put in some shorts. I don't want to short up here. I've been hesitant to short because we're in a rally. Anyways, I wanna see this come down. Maybe we get the target for the head, so we get the downside target, so 9%. You can see another 9% drop in BTC. We should put it like 9,700 or so from this range, right? But this is good for the market, and I really think it's going to be good for alts. Good for alt sentiment. Going back to the BTC.D. Further on, we're going to go to others.D as well. Nick, we put out a signal for BAT today. I think it's at a really good, my personal opinion, not financial advice. I think it's at a good point to snag a bag of BAT because it's very much oversold and it's very much a strong coin, and we've seen what it can do in a bullish altcoin sentimented market. And at this point, I think we're going to start seeing more of a risk on in alts because we're seeing risk on in other markets. So I've seen this big wedge on others.D, and this is going to be not Bitcoin dominance, but altcoin dominance and how much they make up the current market share. And if this thing does break out to the upside, it's going to get really interesting. I think we're going to see altcoins rally like they did, maybe not like they did in 2018, right? Maybe like they did in early 2017, or maybe what they did earlier this year. We had a really profitable January, February, into March until we got into that big rally, that big spike. I'm seeing a 35 up target, so I think if this wedge can break, we're going to head up to that 35% dominance, right? Oh, sorry. 8.296 is a 35% move up, but that's going to be a lot, right? It's going to be a lot of alts. It's all about gearing up and being in the right alts for these moves. What are we seeing? Okay, I'm just kind of looking at some of my charts here, seeing a little bit of a pullback on some of the altcoins that I'm bagging. Yeah, you guys have questions? Anybody have questions on tokens? I can pull out BAT BTC. So intraday chart, right? It's doing this. I'm not gonna call it a pattern just yet, but we're seeing these really interesting candles. We'd seen a bull flag here. This could be an attempted flag formation, right? I'm not gonna call it a diamond. But we see it. There's definitely a consolidation zone right here on BAT. You can't really identify its character. It might be one of those like reverse triangles where it's going to go up. But I do think alts are headed up. Interestingly, some of the tokens that are breaking out, they're breaking out on USD Tether volume. I got Vincent. I'm gonna scoot over so I can read this message because I spaced out my desk quite a bit. So give me just a moment. All right. Vincent, I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do about Binance yet for myself personally. I mean, I'm in Puerto Rico, right? So we're pretty lax, but it's still part of the U.S. Some exchanges that ban the U.S. haven't really they still allow me to trade on them from Puerto Rico. Some of the margin exchanges, and they'll catch on to that. I think Binance is a little smarter though. I don't know, man. I'm trying to make the most out of Binance right now while we can still trade on there. A lot of the coins that we're not supposed to be trading, not supposed to be, but not supposed to be offered to U.S. residents. I'm making the most out of the opportunity because I do think we're gonna get a lot of eggs that pumps on those because of the U.S. retail market. I don't think it's gonna be after. I think it's gonna be before the shift that we're gonna see this big move. But for when the ban does happen, we're still brainstorming. As of now, smaller accounts have no KYC on Binance. So if that's going to be the case after they do the ban and it's just a matter of VPNing in, might do that. And if not, probably like a trading desk somewhere in the world where it's actually legal to participate. And just it's a matter of putting up trading desks. But as of now, I haven't made any changes up until the ban is actually enforced, up until we get more clarity on account sizes. And we were talking about this with our devs, where if people are trading several small accounts, we can link all of them up on our bot so they can actually trigger all the accounts at the same time. Nick, new trader, what coins do you recommend trading? I recommend you watch the workshop that I'm gonna do tomorrow before you start trading. Or some of the Fibonacci retracement workshops. A lot of these coins are going to be pretty similar right now. A lot of things are oversold, right? So we're going to see some bounces. You're going to see some nice formations, some breakouts. A lot of coins are tradable. It's just, what kind of trading do you want to do? You want to be a swing trader? You want to scalp? You want to be a day trader? Where are you going to profit take, right? So, I mean, just putting a fib on this flag right here gives you that target. It's just a matter of not getting stopped out and paying a lot of fees and popping back in and out and actually having the patience to see two breakouts fail before the rally. I'd recommend listening to Trading in the Zone before, if you're a new trader, not before, but if you're a new trader, listen, up your mental game because these breakouts will mess you up, right? This chop. The volatility, but pick something that's in an uptrend, right, and that's not completely out of steam. So like Link BTC, something like this where it's already in an uptrend where the odds of you making a profit are a lot higher than not, right? But you don't want to buy like the top, so figure out how you want to trade before you look at what coins to trade. That would be my advice. But like here we see another flag formation, someone inverse head and shoulders. Oh, wrong tool. I'm gonna go back to btc.d and the others.d, right? So you can just do this, get yourself fib extension, pick your stop, let it ride. Another thing that's interesting about Link, okay, so you can say, hey, Link's made all these gains already. Why are we still looking at this chart? Well, the USD chart is kind of looking like a big bull pennant, right? And it's looking like a big bull pennant. And it's starting to kind of make a move to the upside. So, that being said, pick something in an uptrend, pick a formation, maybe use some moving averages and stuff, right? Pick your strategy before you pick your coin. You are welcome. What's a good signal for adding more BTC to my bag in terms of more accumulation? Thanks. All right, so adding BTC to a bag. Let's go to XBT USD. All right, so if that was a head and shoulders, if this was a head and shoulders that we're seeing on the daily, we kind of saw one develop on ETH, right? And I didn't want to short the small one because it was a bigger one underneath, but we sure shorted the small one and just waited for target because it went way below target. So I'd say there's a 9% down move potentially from this chart. So some of the guys like Willie, some of our VIPs and some of our admins, they want to see a bigger retracement, like a 61.8 of the overall trend. So it should put us back at that previous low. So that can be like a place to ladder. But I don't know. I mean, when you plan on profit taking, what you plan on doing with your BTC, if you're just going to hold it indefinitely till it goes to, you know, for years and years to come. Some of the guys want to see a bigger retracement down like the longer term 61.8. We had seen, was it Cam? One of our analysts was saying this was a 50% retracement, but I was really liking the shorter term fibs on these because it really gave us a spot on 61.8. Where are we? So that really gave us a clean 61.8 retracement. On this swing low. So I want to see that maybe come back down. So previous, you know, when previous resistance becomes support when tested from the upside, it's pretty much a good signal. What's going on, Matthew Pink? Vincent, thanks for your question. Smash that like button if you like this. All right, back to BTC.D, right? So there's going to be various ways to keep an eye on this. I mean, this turn here was pretty violent. I put out some signals, and most of them got stopped. A few of them got stopped on the upswing. So we definitely don't want to trade upswings anymore. Just want to trade these downswings. When this thing finds support, we want to pull out. And yeah, just wait for it to peak out again. Maybe that same resistance. But I'd like to see it come back down, right? I'd like to see it come back down. I'd really like to see others.D break that wedge. I'm not going to declare AltSZN just yet until others.D dominance of altcoin dominance moves up and breaks that wedge, right? And if it does, and when it does, you're pretty much going to be in AltSZN 2019, and things should get really interesting. A lot of these tokens are extremely oversold, right? Even if extremely oversold. And one thing we're doing when BTC is selling off is we're starting to scan volume in terms of USDT. So what's gaining USD value in this downswing to try and score some of these better trade opportunities. You're welcome, Delilah. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Anyways, guys, I got plenty of time. I got plenty of time. If you guys wanna show me some altcoins, I'll gladly go over them. Give you my humble opinion. Show me some alts. Have I talked about ETH? I can definitely talk about ETH. I have not. All right, so BTC was doing this bear flag for. I'm just gonna put them over each other for now, and so we kind of see the contrast in these charts. And let's go ahead and I'm gonna do this, and then XBTUSD. All right, so we saw this bear flag on BTC, this wedge, just breaking down on really good volume. Ether was not doing the same thing. I mean, I was sitting here looking to long Ether. I got stopped out at 292 yesterday. I was looking to get back in on a long for an inverse head and shoulders play, but I saw this retest of the bear flag or of this wedge, and I decided not to do it. Which because they are correlated assets, right? BTC goes down, Ether comes down. Until we break that correlation, it's going to be iffy, right? But we do know that ETH also likes to act as a hedge. I think ETH BTC should be so ETH BTC is gaining, right? And our screener had showed me like a bullish bat down here. So now this looks like a massive descending broadening wedge, what's on an hourly chart. So I'm not going to comment on ETH USD because it's got correlation to ETH BTC. Sorry, to BTC USD in terms of USD gains and losses. But I will say this, ETH BTC is likely to try and rally up a little bit. VET. I was just talking about VET a few minutes ago. Let me hop in here. So I traded VET here on Ether. I kind of posted it to VIPs the other day on the 25th. It was just a volume bump, but VET put out some really interesting news today that they're doing a buyback of their VET token to I think 250 million, 25 million, somewhere around that ballpark. Not a lot of VET, but there's going to be some VET being bought on the open market, right? Which should decrease supply. Fundamentally, this project's really strong, right? And they have partners, and they're actually like active, and they work with Walmart, they work with BMW. They're trying to stop counterfeiting using blockchain or track goods and products. I'm gonna be signaling this after the stream. I think this looks pretty good. For a turn one, we're gonna see technically, what do I see? Is there a big bullish div? There's a hidden bullish div on the daily. There's a failure swing, another same low. Now we're starting to see RSI and momentum start to curl up to the upside. I'm not gonna call this a wedge, right? It looks very much similar to that others dominance chart. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of pull them up side by side. It's like a spit an image. This was the top. Look at that. You can see the cursor on both charts, right? And it's literally doing the same thing. It's moving with the market. It's not ahead of the market, right? But if you look at something like Walton, I'm not saying it's a better coin by any means. That's way ahead of the market. This thing's bubbling. All right. So I try to like to find trades that are ahead, and we keep getting stopped out because of the dominance surges. So I guess run looser stops, only trade on downticks. And yeah, so there's also an inverse head and shoulders here. I really think all season 2019, we're gonna see it unfold very soon. I think it's in the books, right? There's an inverse head and shoulders here. If that continues, I think we're maybe a few days away from all season 2019. I'm not going to spread too much opium. That's all I'm going to say on all season 2019. All right. BTT or TRX, which is better? Leaning BTT, Ripple. Thanks, IOTA. All right, so you're getting a lot of altcoins rolling in. Guys, go ahead and smash that like video. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. So I haven't really checked in on ZRX's fundamentals or anything recently. Let me look at the chart. Definitely done some bullish divs, right? I mean, this is going to be all season where everything is going to go up. Just like I was showing that vet chart. Is this one ahead or above or behind? Let's do that. When was the last swing high on GRX? And here you go, right? So swing high comes down. It's all about, you know, how long one wants to hold their coin, you know, different trading strategies. And this is pretty much moving with the others. It's kind of very going to be similar to that. So it's going to be a matter of volume, right? Where volume is going to come in first. Like money flow. If there's no money flowing in a coin, it's not going to want to budge. But if it does get good volume, it's going to be more promising. And it looks like BTC is doing another uptake. So let's see what's going on here. All right, so we're back above the neckline, right? Could be back above the neckline. We still have this first wedge that could have developed into a flag. So are we seeing a retest? All right, so this could be our bear flag. Here we're seeing, there's also that wedge. So I'm going to highlight all the formations I'm seeing. It's going to get really choppy, some pretty choppy territory. So if this was our wedge that broke down and it retested, continued to break down, did a little bearish consolidation formation, broke down again, right? And now we're going to see an up move for a retest, which would kind of technically coincide with some maybe the neckline up here, a little higher. But until we break that resistance area, I still think we're going to head down for the short term or for the near term. Another interesting thing, if you guys have been following some of our Medium articles and the inverse correlation between the stock market and crypto right now, or Bitcoin right now, BTC or yes, the S&P 500 just made a new all-time high, right? Let's go to 720 so you guys can see it. And I was doing this Dragonfly Doji, is trying to flip back up in after hours and post market. Yeah, so with the inverse correlation, if this thing continues to go up, I foresee BTC to continue to come down. That's just how correlations work. And if not, then if we're going to see a turn on both assets, right? I do have a couple of videos in a Medium article on this. There's a link in the video description on the macroeconomic parallel. Make sure to read that. All right, IOTA, XRP, BTT. So IOTA. All right, this thing's in confluence. I can just eyeball it. So confluence means it's doing just like what the rest of the market cap's doing. Our last swing high on IOTA was our last swing high on others' dominance. I actually tried to break through it. Try to break a couple of trend lines. We have not made a higher high though. It did. So this thing looks like it does have a little more momentum just because there was a, compared to some of the other tokens we saw, right? There wasn't a higher high during the downtrend. There was actually inverse head and shoulders. I remember trading this. All right, there was a pretty big swing trade setup right here. When it's inverse head and shoulders. I'm going to go to Coinigy and pull up some of my moving averages and show you guys other things I'll look for. All right, so this is pretty far from the momentum zone. Like I really enjoyed taking trades up here. Before I kind of continue, you're gonna go to Walton Chain. Right, I really like picking up trades right here or on a retest from the top side, which kind of brings me over to nulls right now. It's creeping up on that momentum zone, and now back to IOTA, so you guys saw what I was doing, and what I'm looking for, and where we traded on the inverse head and shoulders. It did this and rejected once, twice. This is where we picked it up, right? It's that big inverse head and shoulders I was highlighting on the trading view chart, and this is where I signaled IOTA, right, for this move, and you got stopped out on the way down on the bot, and then we're not bought in since. BTT, TRX. I mean, these are completely different coins in terms of their use case. I don't think BTT is related to TRX. So if you're basketing them just based on price, that's one thing. I'm going to put this back up on trading view so you can get a dominance comparison. So BTT wasn't doing a swing high like the rest of the market was on the way down, so it doesn't really have a good correlation with the with others.d, so it's kind of doing its own thing right now. Are we seeing a divergence? There could be a divergence, right? Versus you said TRX. TRX fairly looks similar to others. It really does. I'm not seeing a reversal formation on either, so we're just gonna put them up on my MA strategy. So I'm just gonna go back. Oh, what's going on? On the hourly, BTT could be entering the momentum zone. Volume on this sucker is BTC wise 369. This is pretty good accumulation volume, and the USDT volume. I'm seeing a lot of volume coming off Tether. Right, this has a lot of volume, guys. This has 9 million. Is that right? Yeah, let's look at the USD chart. Thing is, in terms of BTC, a lot of those alts just kind of went sideways or came down. But BTT definitely did post quite a bit of USD gains. So it's another way to analyze and look at them and say, hey, so what are we doing in terms of USD value to see if you're going to see an up move in BTC or not? And it currently isn't a formation. I don't think. It doesn't look like there is, but it's doing this rounding action. No comment on BTT. Going over TRX EOS. This is looking like a small bull flag on the intraday, right? If we are setting up, for that up move and others and a down move and dominance, then we're gonna see this a rally, right? We're gonna see this bull flag start moving. Tron is margin traded, so it could squeeze really hard, or it could get shorted as well, and get shorted really hard too. EOS, I believe you got stopped out of my last EOS signal after hitting a couple of small targets. I signaled it down here for some short-term targets. You got stopped out in profits on the bot. man, it's not in that momentum zone, right? So one can take the trade and say it's going to go up to the momentum zone, or one can enter the trade at the momentum zone or at a retest of the momentum zone. So it's going to be a little tricky. Once again, we see this token take off and do this, so that's going to be our mold for what I think is going to be the edge for AltSZN 2019, right? These consolidations for an up move, but then again, from here to all the way up to our moving average, there wasn't much of a signal, right? Like, other than like volume building, right? This wasn't a reversal formation. Let's look on the daily. Definitely a bullish divergence on the daily, right? And which one was that? That was the third bullish divergence on the daily. XRP. Man, I had so many hopes for XRP like 4 times in June, and it just kept not complying. But this is typical, right? Before any XRP run in BTC value, we see capitulation, right? Until you sell your XRP and you just keep like, man, I can't take this pain anymore. It doesn't really like to rally. I'm gonna go to the Bittrex chart and show the same thing, right? Historically, every time we even had a little micro rally or relief rally, we still saw a bit of a capitulation sell-off. So XRP is for the strong hand guys, right? Not for your typical trader. This was a shakeout. This was a shakeout, sideways, boom. We traded this leg up. Yeah, so until we see, you know, this thing go back up, it's doing another bullish dev from these 2 lows. It's had plenty of positive news too. Interestingly, this right here could be shaping up for a failure swing. If it does, if RSI tucks up and starts pointing up, could be looking better. On the hourly, it's going to be so far away from the moving averages. It's an early signal right here, but they don't all play out, right? Last one kind of played out. All right, fam bam, still taking altcoins. Show me some alts. If not, I'm just going to keep going back to some of the hedge coins, some of the dominance charts, kind of fill a little bit of time. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the others. All right, so once again, my consensus is if the wedge breaks, even if you got wedge friction, it's gonna be AltSZN 2019. It just is, right? You gotta break this wedge. Let's run trading view. Go ahead and set an alert. I'm gonna set an alert for myself. Alert. Let's pick next high. So 6.61, right? And that should alert me. And hey, alts are gonna fly. Dragon chain, DRGN. Not really big on fundamentals, right? Except for when I'm holding a token, or a token that I'm looking to hang on to or buy. Dragon did have a lot of fans. 2017, 2018. This is a 2018 token. This looks like it could be doing a bull flag, right? All I can do is give you my technical opinion. It looks like it could be trying to do a little bit of bull flag. It's a 720 time frame, so it's a pretty big time frame. RSI is looking like it wants to turn. Have you broken any downtrends? Definitely broke the initial downtrend and could also be doing, right? It looks like others. It really does. And by others, I mean the others dominance chart. Swing high, sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off, capitulation, not quite. Capitulation, yes indeed. So it's definitely, it's actually acting a little different where it's extending this channel when others was not. Others looks different. So an upwards break, a break of the trend line would make me bullish on it, right? In terms of like profit taking these rallies, based on Walton, I think that 1.618. Let's do this. This will give us a little bit of a guide of what to expect. I knew it over here. Let's start down low. This is how I plan on trading this altcoin rally. I want to see where coins like Walton Chain do top off. And correlation with the last dominance high, right? What fib level, or even at any fib level right now? If that was our dominant swing high, and this is our swing low, right? We're barely at a 23.6. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this bigger. I hope you guys understood what I just did. It's really not that complicated. But I'm trying to get a cycle here, right? And Walton's breaking out, and if it does stop here, so it's a snow that, hey, on some of these really oversold alts, we can hit that 38.2 retracement of the downtrend, right? Or the 23.6. And if I was to, let's say, bring in VET, that was our last stop. You know, where am I going to start profit taking? Well, I want to see where the biggest and fastest gainers stop before starting to profit take on some of these and send some of those longer targets, those big swing targets. Oh, look at KCS. Not familiar with it. I didn't cover Zeke for Delilah, so let's go ahead and do that. So privacy tokens are not doing good right now. They're just not. I'm seeing, based on this chart, we've traded descending broadening wedges. Not really traded an ascending broadening wedge. But one thing I'm doing right now, until I see strength out of that industry, right? This could be a wedge retest for another down move. I'm not saying Zeke's gonna come down, right? If you look at other privacy tokens, they're not doing good. Not doing good at all. I know until I start seeing some of those rally or maintain their gains, I'm gonna stay away from privacy tokens. I mean, this should be ready to go, right? Like, there's no reason we're capitulating any further. Especially the USD chart was doing really good. It was actually climbing with Bitcoin for days, right? So from like June 13th to June 24th, it was climbing with Bitcoin, and it just dumped for no reason. But what do we know about breakouts? They like to retest. There's a little bit of a cup and a handle, possibly a pennant. I'm going to go back to Zeke and just put my MAs on it because there's a lot of range trading in that chart. So Zeke, it would only be fair. It's not in my momentum zone yet, but it's doing a bull flag. It's all right. Let's look at Dash. Just been recovering some of these coins. They tend to, yeah, they're all moving in confluence. They could do a really like sharp snapback of a rebound just based on how oversold everything is. I mean, 3-day RSIs should be buried in the dust right now. Yeah. Anyways, I do think we are at the cusp of AltSZN 2019. I really believe that, based on some of what these charts have done, what they're doing, what Bitcoin's doing, what dominance is doing. If we're not, and anybody gets heavy in alts now and makes a profit, keep an eye on the BTC dominance chart, right? BTC.D, because it is trouble, guys. Every time this thing turns up, it's not good. It's not good for alts at all. But, you know, we did see a double top, which is good, and now we could be seeing a sell-off. If this thing comes back down in previous lows, you're going to see alts rise on a higher BTC value. And that's where some altcoin money is made, right? It's where BTC gains are made in a sideways or downwards BTC market. That's all I got, especially with others.d, you know, to further provide consensus, to my opinion. This thing's shaping up in a wedge, right? So I do think this wedge breaks. It's on. If you guys want to keep updated on some of these findings, I've been posting these in our announcements tab on Discord. So there's a link. I think the second link in the description is to Discord. So go ahead and hop in there. Smash that like button. Give us a share. Click subscribe on YouTube. And I'll take a couple more altcoin suggestions. You guys have them before we call it a day. Tomorrow I'm hosting a workshop at noon my time, so noon Eastern time. It's 5 p.m. here right now, and it's on the 1.272 Fib, and it's where a lot of breakouts are rejecting. So it's, if you're trading, if you're trying to find a good buy-in on a dropping token, this is a workshop for you. So ETHUSD is doing something interesting. Before I close this off, I want to switch this up a bit. I have ETH, BTC, BNB, and dominance on that chart, and it's looking really interesting for ETH. Let's do this. Right, so my 15-minute chart is still looking bullish. That's why I said ETH BTC looks fairly good. Where did we draw these trend lines from? So the trend line off these last two highs is kind of giving us a little bit of a support here. It's not doing anything too bearish, right? And I don't like this line. Because I was seeing this wedge, like a descending broadening wedge, which is an up formation. This time we kind of just cut it in half. Now it's looking more like a channel now. You're just in a downwards channel. But in terms of XBT USD, right, we're still on a down red candle, and ETH is on an up green candle. So we could be starting to break correlation. We could see an extended rally out of ETH, which is overdue, and typically it likes to hedge. ETH does like to provide a good hedge in terms of BTC pullbacks. Sweet. Well, that's all, folks. That's all I got. Thank you all for tuning in to the market update. Make sure to join us on Facebook. Join us on Discord. Smash that like button once again. And if this is AltSZN, buckle up, right? Pick your alts wisely. I just told you things I look for when I'm picking my alts. And things you're going to look for when picking community alts too. That being said, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for tuning in. You are welcome, Nick. All right, guys, take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow in the workshop.